Sorry, I couldn't remember.
Hello, everyone. We are Team Mend, and today I'd like to start out with a question for you all. Please raise your hand if you or someone you know has ever been to physical therapy. Now, keep that hand up if you or that person has ever struggled during the recovery process. Well, like many of you, I am one of those people. I'm currently recovering from my 7th knee surgery over the course of 10 years. And in those 10 years, I've had different injuries, different surgeries, I've gone to different clinics, and I've had different physical therapists. But one thing was always the same. I lacked motivation. Now, this motivation can be broken out into a few areas. The first is at-home support. Like many of you know, a big part of recovery is actually completing your exercises at home. But guess what? Those paper packets and those video demos that every clinic gives you just isn't enough. Similarly, we have accountability. When patients are at home, they need something that is going to push them to do their exercises. But their physical therapists can't follow them home to encourage them, and those paper packets just aren't motivating. Now, finally, we have progress stats. Physical therapists spend so much of their time taking measurements and typing things into their computers to make updates about a patient's recovery. But guess what? Patients don't get to see any of this. They're stuck trying to remember how much they could bend their knee or their elbow last week, not knowing what goals they have to complete and when, and having no clear indication that they are improving. I knew that I couldn't be the only one struggling with these issues, so the team took this to the field to get more information firsthand.
We conducted surveys and interviews with physical therapists to gain insight into the data that they tracked and the motivational techniques that they use, as well as patients to gain insights into their experiences during recovery. One patient insight stood out to us in particular.
They said, "There was no one to tell me if I was getting any better or stronger. I just got a printout of exercises and was told, 'You got this,' clearly demonstrating that this patient was lacking insights into their progress and the proper support needed to progress in their recovery. But these problems didn't arise for just this one patient."
When looking at our patient survey and our user interview group as a whole, we found that 0% of participants saw progress data throughout the recovery. Yet physical therapists are clinically required to be tracking some sort of progress data for each and every one of their patients.
Additionally, 90% of participants felt unmotivated during their recovery process, despite physical therapists having multiple motivational techniques they use to support their patients. Because of the drastic nature of these stats, we knew we needed to craft a solution that addressed all 3 areas of this motivation problem. Let's take a look at how we did this through a short video introducing our solution and how it is used.
Meet Jake. He got injured biking to work. It's not his first time recovering, and motivation has always been the hardest part. This time he's starting fresh with a new physical therapist and Mend to guide him. Jake opens the app for a check-in. His pain is high. He's not feeling optimistic, but seeing others' success stories gives him hope. At home, Mend walks him through his exercises. When he completes them, he unlocks an achievement and builds on his streak. He feels accomplished. As the weeks go on, Jake's physical therapist unlocks new goals. He can see the numbers, his strength is increasing, his range of motion is improving. He's doing better than he thought. Months later, Jake looks back at his recovery journey. He remembers the pain and doubt, but also how Mend kept him motivated. Now he's stronger, more determined, and finally, back on his bike. Recovering is hard. Staying motivated shouldn't be.
So, now that you've seen how Jake uses Mend, let's take a deeper dive into her features to see how we address the 3 areas of the motivation problem.
The first area is at-home support. As you saw in the video, Jake followed along with guided exercises and was able to check in on his pain and mood all from home, giving him the extra support he needed to progress in his journey. For even more support, Mend offers tone customization, so you can always be in control of the type of motivation you get. With both patients and physical therapists noting the benefits of using words of encouragement versus tough love, we knew that our tough and kind tone feature would offer the at-home support patients needed to thrive. Next is accountability. Jake kept himself accountable through streaks and achievements that encouraged him to complete his exercises. And he was able to unlock goals to stay on track for key milestones in his recovery timeline. And finally, progress stats. With recovery metrics like range of motion and strength, exercise stats like total reps and total sets, and check-in metrics for your pain and mood, Mend shows a full picture of all the progress you've made. And if you want to see that over time, just like Jake, you can view monthly recaps that compare your progress across different points. Whether you're improving or not, Mend will show you the facts in a way that keeps you motivated. These are the features that make up our solution, but of course, we needed to make sure that Mend actually motivates people, which we decided to test through a live web app.
To build our web app, we chose Svelte for our backend and front-end frameworks to work efficiently in one coding environment. We used VS Code as our code editor, and we used GitHub for our version control. This integrated seamlessly with Drexel, which we use for our web deployments and hosting.
For data visualization, we incorporated D3.js in order to create dynamic and interactive graphs. Meanwhile, on the back end, we relied on Firebase for data authentication, user authentication, and analytics in order to create a scalable backend for us. And with this fully functional web app, we were well prepared to move on to validation testing.
During our testing, we wanted to validate overall motivation with the use of Mend, but also how each of our features played into that motivation. Our at-home support features motivated around 90% of patients. Our incorporation of progress stats motivated 100% of patients. And our accountability features motivated around 95% of patients, which validates each and every one of our features.
But most importantly, all participants noted an increase in their motivation of approximately 50% after using Mend compared to when they started physical therapy, demonstrating that our sentiment of recovery can be difficult, but motivation shouldn't be, is not only true, but also attainable with Mend. None of this would have been possible without each and every person up here today. I'm Gianna, project manager.
I'm Benji, the UX researcher.
I'm Dane, the UX strategist.
I'm Cam, the UI UX designer.
I'm Alexis, one of the developers.
I'm Sabrina, the other developer, and thank you so much for listening. Please come check out Mend